Welcome everybody to my talk. I'm really glad that you all tuned in to this channel, and I hope I can tell you something of value this afternoon. I'm Annelies Wisse. I am an experienced and play designer at IJsfontein, well, the place where I am at the moment. Maybe you know us, maybe not, but IJsfontein is a design agency that develops playful solutions for serious problems. So, many of our clients are hospitals, but also institutions or museums, schools. But I think we always make stuff. Well, you have to learn something or get something under your skill sets. Well, in this talk, I will tell you more about Grow It. It's a game we developed together with Erasmus MC. It's a hospital in Rotterdam, the Tilburg University game architect, and with the support of the Friends of Sophia. Grow It is a game that monitors the well-being of teenagers, but I will go into that later. In this talk, I will tell you how the game is designed, how it's being tested, and also, last but not least, how we managed to make a spin-off to monitor the well-being of teenagers during these Corona times. First of all, I would like to tell you what Grow It is about. As you can see, well, it's a game, or maybe better to say a playful solution. For you, maybe some of you are real game players and you would say this is not a game. But what it does monitor the well-being of teenagers by giving them questionnaires daily, and it lets them experience coping strategies in the form of challenges. Our target audience for the game that are teenagers, but not just every teenager. It are teenagers who are in a vulnerable position. For example, they are chronically ill, they have an unstable home situation, or in our case, they are forced to live in a lockdown for a period of time. Let's start with the design challenges we had in this project. As I said, daily questionnaires. And to be more precise, 7 daily questionnaires for 6 weeks. So, the focus was to start with to make something irritating fun. The researchers who are involved in this project, they based their research on ESM. It's an emotional sampling method, and it's a method whereby subjects receive 7 daily questionnaires with the same questions, and by doing this, researchers can monitor the emotional well-being of the participants. But to make it the data scientifically proven, so they can really work with it, they need an 80% response rate. So 80% of all the questionnaires sent during these 6 weeks should be filled. It's quite a high number. So we did our best to do that. First of all, to make questionnaires attractive. Well, we made them visually attractive, but also we had a lot of discussions with the researchers since, on first hand, the researchers just only asked what they wanted to know. For example, at the end of the day, they would ask you to give the most stressful situation and tell how you coped with that. But what we saw when we started to test the game, teenagers were very upset then because, they almost went to bed. The app asked them to think about the most stressful situation that day, and then it would say, good night, see you later. So we discussed, and then we also found out that we would not only monitor the negative moments, but also ask for positive things so that they, would end the day in a positive way. And last, we try to make the interactions you have with this questionnaire as easy as possible. So, for example, the image on the right you see, it's it's about how happy you are at the moment, and you could drag the ball to the slider and then drag it from left to right. So it's also kind of fun to do. But, as we all know, questionnaires stay questionnaires. So what we had to do was make it more fun. And for that, we needed game mechanics, and a lot, because we had to make this 80%. When the Erasmus and the game architect came to us, to IJsfontein, to improve their beta version of this game, they had already the evidence that being part of a team and gathering points to enter a next level were a nice element that the players enjoyed. And when we looked at that, we thought, okay, we have to improve this point system. There should be more reason why you are gathering points. So we introduced a tree. And this tree was kind of a tree hut with all that would grow at a specific number of points, which we call spurts. And during these spurts, all team members would receive an item for the tree. There was the possibility to have a personal score and a team score, that there is a team. And the team is also, it's not only individuals, but it's also on the copy. For example, all the players can have names and the teams have names, and they will have a link to trees or nature or a kind of funny squad. You can see on the right side that there are other teams involved, so you're not the only one or the only team in this game, but there are more teams involved. And the spurts, they are kind of the levels we have in this game. Here you see your profile and also a weekly, or not really weekly, but your leaderboard. And what is interesting with the leaderboard, we wanted to have a kind of a leaderboard, so there would be, how should I say, a good way of battle. But it should be very friendly, because you have to play this game for 6 weeks, and it could be very likely that, for example, one player couldn't make it for a week to participate. And there's nothing less demotivating than being on the bottom of the leaderboard for 6 weeks without being able to get back. So what we did, every spurt, all the points would go to the tree, and you would buy new presents with the team, and everybody gets a present. Doesn't matter if you gained 0 points this week or 100. Everybody deserves a present. And the next spurt, everybody starts with 0 again. So if you had a bad week last week, you can, there's a new round and new chances for this week to do your best. And another game mechanic we added was a day streak or a streak. Of course, the target audience we have is really well known with this phenomenon. So, and when a player would finish all the tasks for one day, they could get extra points for that. And at first, we also made a team streak. To get a team streak, everybody had to do everything. But what we found out in the test, that was a very unhuman thing to ask from teenagers. So we got that out of the game, because it's it was impossible. What we also added was a little bit mystery. Like these are what you here see are the presents you could get for your tree. So, for example, you get a tree hut or a hang mat, or a waterfall. It could be anything. A coffee bar. These items, it's maybe nice to tell. We came up with them during a co-creative session with teenagers, and we went to think with them what could be cool to have in a tree hut. So these items and also the whole look and feel of the game really matches with their world and the things they like. For example, we wouldn't have thought ourselves of placing a coffee bar in a tree, but they really liked to have coffee in a coffee bar, so we did. And when you get a present, you could make an educated guess. Like, you see a form, and you can choose to unwrap that form or pick another one. And every time you reach a spurt with your team, you can pick out 1 out of 3 presents. And when you unwrap it, you see what it's finally there, but the form, can give you some idea. And other thing what we add was next to the design challenge was also that there should be some interaction with your teammates. But because we made this game for this vulnerable target group, we could not use real names or real life interactions, and also all the interaction that was there should stay positive, because you can imagine if you are feeling down or you chronically ill or your parents, you have an unstable situation, such a chat could become negative as well. And what the researchers really didn't want was that the chat would drown everybody down. So then we came up with these two things. On the left, you see it's on the beginning of the game when you are in the startup phase, like then you can pick a nickname. And we didn't make it a free field because we really didn't want kids to fill in their first name or last name or whatever. Because, if it's a free field and you could say, or you can say, ask, like, write a nickname, but still a lot of people just write their own name. Then we came up with this, kind of inspired by the, how should I say, the animals you can be in Google Drive when you are not signed in, but with a bit more personality. So in this case, you could choose an adjective and an animal that really suits you. So for example, maybe I might feel okay with being a jolly squirrel, or maybe better a happy llama. But I can decide myself and pick it. And what you see on the right is the chat, or it's kind of a sticker chat. So what you could do here is make rebuses. So you could add up to 4 stickers, and together they can make, or you can think it's a sentence, or you can just, like, in a positive way, give a poke to your teammates and to show that you are a real alive person, because that was the most important thing, that they had the feeling that they were playing with other kids instead of playing against a computer. What we didn't want is that they could exchange personal information like names or phone numbers. So we also didn't put numbers in here, for example, or letters. So it's really impossible to share such information. What you can ask now, is this chat being used? What we see is it's rather hard because people don't know with whom they are on the team. And some groups, they use it and some not. Everybody thinks it's a kind of fun to once in a while send a sticker, but it does not become a real chat. But what players do is, to poke each other, to make the challenges and to do the challenges, or to say, we are almost having a spurt, so do your best. That happens. So that's fun to see. The other part of the game is about experiencing these coping strategies. You might think, what are coping strategies? Well, that are things that are nice to do when you're feeling down. For example, go outside, create something, get social, reflect on yourself, put your phone away. And we really wanted to put the focus here on experiencing, or also the researchers really wanted to do that, so that we would not explain what kind of coping strategies there are and how you can implement them in your daily life, but we really want to let the kids experience it. So what we came up was challenges. So there are daily challenges. So every day there are 3 challenges to choose from, and every challenge there in these 3 challenges, there's always a challenge you can do. For example, when you are in the hospital, maybe you're not able to go outside, or it's harder to make a smoothie for yourself, but there's always something you can do. So that's why there are 3, and there's a timer in it, and that's a kind of a game mechanic, so that you think, okay, I have still 7 hours left to do this, to bake this pie. No, well, yeah. And but it's funny, we didn't need any game mechanics at all for these challenges, because well, during tests, participants were really disappointed that they could only do one of the 3 challenges because they wanted to do them all. Well, what was also really nice is that, especially with the open questions and the things they really like to sometimes reflect a kind of who they are or what they are doing. And we made 3 kind of questions or 3 kind of challenges. We made like a photo challenge, which, in fact, well, you have to make a photo of something you did. So it could be something outside, for example, take a picture of a chicken. Well, you have to find the chicken alive, or bake a pie. So you have to bake a pie and make a chicken, or look for a friend or give a high five to somebody and make a picture of that. A quiz, which is just a multiple choice quiz, but well, with funny things and always possible to do. And a type challenge. So there could be any kind of questions. It could be more reflective, but also, if you could describe an action you had to do today. For example, if you had to ask a friend for something, for a compliment, you could here tell how it went, like a kind of diary. I told you I would also tell something about testing. How did we test? During the first period, we tested 3 times for a week, and during a week we would receive feedback via WhatsApp from all the kids, so we could also know if they got the notifications right, and if they knew what to do, or if they could not understand the app. And we had a kickoff and a feedback in real life or via Skype. So in the last session, there were also, we used Skype more because it was easier. And all the tests we did with 3 groups of 5 teenagers. And then, hello, lockdown. Bye-bye, friends. We were almost ready to get the game in the stores when it was, being reviewed by Apple when Corona hit the world. And everybody had to go in lockdown. Strange period for everybody, I think. But the researchers who were involved in this project had this great idea to see if we could help Dutch teenagers to cope with this lockdown and with all the limitations of it. And besides, monitor their well-being, which was a very noble idea. For which they got some extra money to do. So this was the moment where we, not completely changed, but really, changed the content of the challenges and the content of the game, so that it was suitable for all teenagers in Rotterdam to start with, and from the rest of Holland. And that all the challenges had to do with, a social lockdown and what that, means for you. First of all, what I said, we had to come up with 46 types of content to do again. But I think the hardest part to manage was to get the participants ready. So to get in touch with these Dutch teenagers, they were not at school anymore from one moment to the other. But I think there was a team at the Erasmus MC of students, and they really helped the researchers with all these things from gathering participants, getting the parental approval you need to do such things, and also rather important in this case to make sure the notifications work properly, because there's 7 times this questionnaire and you get a notification of that. And it's especially with all the different devices and kids sometimes not knowing how these notifications work, to get it in a proper way. And it's not only kids, also adults don't know how it works, but that aside. And we are now in week 6, but I have here, the outcomes of week 5. And, I think everybody who is involved in this project is really proud of where we are at the moment, that there are 95 kids using the game in different teams. And as you can see, well, the hit zone is in Rotterdam, but there are also a couple of areas around the Netherlands where they are using the game. And well, as you can see in the statistics, most of the kids are doing fine. And of course, this is an average of 800 kids. So the ones who are not doing fine, you don't see them really in these lines, but we know that there's been taken care of them. So I think we are very proud that we made it until here. That was my talk, and I'd like to thank you for listening. And if you want to know more about the Grow It app, or you want to see more outcomes, because we monitor every week, you can go to growitapp.nl to see how it's going.
All right, thank you, Annelies. Thank you so much. I have a couple of questions actually for you, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
All right. You talked about a coffee house or a coffee shop in a tree house. Mm-hmm. It sounds like a great idea, not just for young people. I would definitely be down with that. But those kinds of ideas came together at a creation or co-creation sessions. You said. Yeah. How were those set up?
Well, what we did, we here at our office. We have upstairs a big area where we can have co-creation sessions and different things. So we invited a couple of kids, and we thought about what could be in a tree hut, and what we also did, we sent out a questionnaire, because there were I think 5 or 6 teenagers, but it were 5 girls and 1 boy. So we thought, okay, this is not really it's good, mm-hmm. but we are not yet there. So what we did was also send out a questionnaire to with already some ideas, and to ask for more ideas from our target audience. And what is really nice with these online questionnaires, there we got a lot of reactions. So we could really cherry pick from all funny ideas.
Right. And you said there's lots of different 6 or 7 different types of content and data that you're collecting. That must be, especially on the validation side at the end, a hell of a job. How do you do that?
Yeah, like testing if everything goes to the database and if we get everything right. It was of course we test such things from scratch, because the programmers know that it has to be there. But yeah, how we test it, we and also the researchers, every moment they can make a download from the database, mm-hmm. And see where things are going good or not. Which they also really need, because when they see a kid is not participating anymore, or they start to call it or send WhatsApp messages. So they, like the researchers, they are also, if they feel like something is going wrong, they are, they can contact them. To test if all these challenges work, it's really hard. But we went to the data or the content sheets and checked them over and over again. Yeah.
No, I get it. And you said you're now in week 6.
Yes, I think that's because
And I'm sorry, I might have missed that in the beginning. But how long is this going to run for?
6 weeks. So this is the last week. They are, but not everybody started in the first week.
Okay.
So for one team or for one kid, it takes 6 weeks. But I think they closed the possibility to join at the 6th of June. So, these results will come.
And what happens after that? What are the next steps? Is that just up to the researchers? Or what's your part in that?
No, it's really up to the researchers, because we developed this tool so they could monitor different types of target groups, and I think now it is like what they really wanted with to have this Corona version was they really wanted to know how kids were doing. Especially that's why they wanted to have it so fast. So because you could really see the difference from going just to school to I can't see my friends anymore. Like this transition. And so on one hand, the data they have now is for future pandemics, or maybe what we can do better as a society to keep our teenagers healthy. And on the other side, they really did during these times, like the ones they saw dropping out, they helped them. So I think that's really nice.
Great. Thank you so much. We are exactly out of time right now. So that was perfect timing.